I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. And I want to give a double honors to the elders and apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone for enduring. Shlaki. Matthew chapter 13, verse 1. The same day went Yahushua out of the house and sat by the seaside. I shouldn't have stopped this, but it just made me think of something.
Among the other nations, right? So who now today is scattered amongst every nation under the sun, right? You gotta.
Now, first of all, this man in the tie is very feminine. I believe he's a Jehovah's Witness. This man with the shade, I never noticed the shades. He was touching his hair so much. The man with the shades on himself appears feminine, and he touches his hair the whole time. Now, this is not to pick on anybody. This is just to clarify the seeds that's been planted and what we're dealing with as a nation.
In the fast, right, we're the people that are scattered, because what land do we have to go back to? We don't have one. Right, but yet we have black men in Australia, we have black men over in Europe, we have black men over in the Americas, North America.
We don't have black. We've never had black. All right, Esau, Edom created black. Matter of fact, let's check something out. All right, I typed in, when was the first black man on the earth? All modern humans share a common ancestor who lived around 200,000 years ago in Africa. So are they saying that this is the first black man on the earth? Then how come nobody else is described as black besides us? As of 2020, more than half of Virginians, 58.6, were white alone, not Hispanic Latino. The black population in Virginia is the second largest racial group at 18.3 of the state's overall population. All right, but in the Virginia versus Black case, the Supreme Court upheld a Virginia statute. So black became black when it was legally defined under a Virginia statute, making it illegal to burn a cross in public with the intent to intimidate others. Now, Loving versus Virginia, 1967. Trying to find that first case. I'm thinking it might be older than this. (1619). Let me see. Exactly, because it was Negro and so forth. And that's why it's very important to not just get out there and tell everybody how you feel once you find out that we're Hebrew Israelites, because we still have a lot of uneducating to do. We have to uneducate ourselves. We have to vomit out what we've been forced to eat. All right, we've been fed the knowledge. We've been fed the knowledge. Now, wine makes grapes. All nations have drunk off the wine of all nations have drunk off the wine of Babylon, the wrath of her fornication. But grapes make wine. So even if you haven't been drunken off the wine, you want to declare yourself not drunk off the wine. You've eaten the grapes. You've enjoyed the grapes, the seedless grapes, the seedless grapes of America, Babylon the Great. Ecclesiasticus chapter 31, verse 21. And if thou hast been forced to eat, okay, they've shoved it down your throat that you were black. You ate it. You ate it up. Right? You even cherished, I'm black and I'm proud, and get all emotional about Black History Month not being long enough. Just like my screen timeout thing. So when it's all said and done, we've been forced to eat lies. Oh, okay. Sirach chapter 31, verse 21, also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus. And if thou hast been forced to eat, arise, go forth, vomit, and thou shalt have rest. Get that stuff out of your system. Get this black out of your system. All right?
In South America, the same with the Hispanics. Taino Indians, right? They got taken, and I want to say the 1400s, over to Europe, right? The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the children of Israel, as the Lord refers to. That's right. We are the witnesses of Jehovah. Right. But his name's not actually Jehovah, because there was no J-E-O-V-U or F in the original paper, right? In the original Hebrew. So his true name would actually be Yahweh. Right.
Yeah. So that's an interesting point that you made, because obviously this paper that they're looking for, I believe it's tetragrammaton kind of line. So no one knows maybe the exact pronunciation of God's name, but he still wants us, even if we don't know the correct pronunciation from how it was pronounced back in ancient days, he still wants us to use it.
No, I would definitely agree. Use it, but we have to use it properly. However,
oh yeah, absolutely. We don't
how it actually goes though is that in Hebrew, the Paleo, the older you go back, the more simple the language gets. Like the vowels and stuff that we have in modern day isn't the vowels that we have back then. So even with the Paleo Hebrew, right, it goes back to an old Canaanite language, something called a co-Sinaitic text, which is actually like when they say that some of these languages are their language.
And for record, I didn't look for this video. It just showed up on my timeline. I'm not coming for these men as far as pushing them down the steps. Obviously, they're in their learning stage as far as learning to teach and learning and so forth. As am I, and they're under the guidance of Naquan, Watchman for Israel, and to me that's like a beginners to the truth and lies of how to conduct oneself.
They're not saying that they're indecipherable. What they're saying is that they're no longer speaking amongst a mass group of people. So when it comes to the co-Sinaitic text for the Paleo Hebrew, when you take the tetragrammaton, they will call it tetragrammaton, right? Every consonant would just say its name. Like the Y sound would just say ya. So the W sound would just say wa. The H sound would just say ha. So when you put the tetragrammaton together and you read it in the Hebrew from right to left, it will read Yahweh instead of Jehovah. Right? So that's how we understand that is the true name of the Most High God.
That's right.
Right. But
in Jehovah's just more of a
modern day term. Yeah. And we agree with that.
Just like you have like my name Joseph, for example. My name Joseph. So in Spanish it would be Jose. Yeah. But it's, if you refer to Jose, Joseph, still the same name, just different pronunciation.
Yeah, I believe Joseph.
But that's why it is written, I am God, I change not. See, I done messed up the spot, so. So the sons of Jacob are not consumed. The book of Malachi chapter 3 verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. All right, if the Lord doesn't change, that means his name isn't going to change in a different language. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Now, why can't the name change? Because there is power in the name. All right? And this isn't what I was looking for. I didn't even mean to type it in like that. The book of Acts chapter 4 verse 12. Neither is there salvation in any other. All right, there's no salvation in any other than Yahushua, because he is the high priest that makes atonements for the sins. For there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. All right, so the only name under heaven given by men by which we must be saved is Yahushua. And when Yahushua walked the earth, he spoke of Yahweh. Now, we're going to get out of this.
I don't understand how some women will scream from the top of their lungs, I want to be independent, I don't need a man. F all that. You guys could keep that type of mentality. Now, me, on the other hand, I'm going to turn up. I want a partner. I want to take care of somebody. I want to, love somebody. Like, when I have...
She wants a partner. Who planted the seed that this is some sort of partnership? Who planted the seed that this is some sort of partnership? Because somewhere down the line, you women get the idea that you don't have to do as much. You don't have to put out as much, that the man has to do more. And you get to be on vacation, a paid vacation, for as long as you desire. The book of Matthew chapter 13 verse 1. The same day went Yahushua out of the house and sat by the sea. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Excuse me. Now this sower is a righteous planter. All right. Husbandry. Husbandry is the act of farming, planting seeds. All right. So this man, and nowadays you have women sowing seeds as well. Matter of fact, where's that at? Salakia, y'all.
Fellas, I want to make a little PSA, because you complain that your wife never wants to be intimate, but you slap her butt when she's emptying the dishwasher and grope her body when she's stressing over bills. And why would aggressively touching someone out of nowhere make them want to sleep with you? Especially when they're in the middle of trying to take care of everyone but themselves. Touching her without talking to her means you want to get off, not feel connected. And it's so selfish for you to think that you wanting to get off would be enough.
Okay, seriously. Can y'all just stop? This video has had over 800,000 views, over 100,000 likes.
800,000 seeds were planted in the mind of women and men that watch this video. 100,000 of those seeds sprouted into a like automatically, instantly liked. Matthew chapter 13 and 4. And when he sold, and this woman just sold, she sold for about 5 seconds, 10 seconds. 800,000 views, 100,000 likes. For what? For what? Now, me personally, and I'm just going to put this out there, I don't give a fuck who it offends. Me personally, especially a weak-ass woman, because a woman is a weaker vessel, or a weak-ass man, if you're showing interest in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I will not deter you. And in a strange way, I will try to find some way to motivate you, encourage you, and so forth. But in all actuality, I don't give a fuck. Whether you saved or not, that's Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's job. All right? To save who he wants to save. It's not my job to save who I want to save. But what I will do is encourage you to the best of my ability. Right? My fear of who receives salvation is towards those that I learn from, those that I've met in the flesh, and their loved ones, and my children, all of my children. I just have most hope for my Polite. Stay the hell away from my daughter, Polite. From my 10-year-old daughter. All right, keep that man behind bars. The book or execute him. Or make him pay a dowry. All right, there's multiple ways it could be done. The book of Matthew chapter 13, verse 4. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside. 800,000 seeds was planted by that woman who looks like she wouldn't bring any value to my life. All right, she's a liability, a mental liability, for sure. Most likely a financial liability. It sounds like a 100% sexual liability. All right, because her man will be sexually deprived, frustrated, and looking for someone else to take care of the needs that she refused to take care of. Whether it just be smacking the butt. You women are out of control. Matthew chapter 13, verse 4. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. So this woman commenting on this post, she would be as a fowl, devouring up the seeds that this other woman had posted by the wayside. Now, mind you, this is how it works all throughout life with everything. Seeds are being planted non-stop. And in the days of the third world war, in the days of global famine, in the days of global pestilence, in the days of God judging the earth, the God of the Bible judging the earth, not the God of people's feelings, except for the true worshipers. And those that listen to them and are influenced by them as I am. Yeah, I said it, Esau. Now, we ain't gonna hear her madness. She looks like a fun hour. That's about it.
Or make them want to sleep with you, especially when they're in the middle of trying to take care of everyone but themselves. Touching her without talking to her means you want to get off, not feel connected.
A fun hour after a cold streak.
And it's so selfish for you to think that you wanting to get off would be enough.
Okay, seriously. Can y'all just stop? This video has had
She kind of looking like Kim K. And sounding better.
over 800,000 views, over 100,000 likes, and over 2,500 comments. You know what? Y'all are ruining everything for women that actually like men.
Let's go! And I believe her to be a Latina, Northern Kingdom, and I believe that first woman to be an Israelite foreigner. See, a lot of you women and men are taking advice from your enemies, people of the other nation, and people that are your people, but choose the ways of the other nation, therefore enemy to your nation. Matthew chapter 13, verse 5. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. All right, so you have to be rooted into what you're into, or else you have no foundation. Right? You can't receive the nutrients from the sun and the water and the earth to the roots to sustain you. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. All right, all of the problems of the world, the affairs of the world, the people, your children, your woman, your mother, your job, fear of being changed to a lower estate. See, it's no way around this, right? My son or daughter, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Now, a woman, she's going to be tempted by faith, and she's going to be tempted by other men, and that's her problem. That's her problem. Listen, Yahushua specifically said, remember Lot's wife. He said that because Lot's wife ain't make it. He wanted his disciples to know, you're gonna make it, not that woman. Remember Lot's wife. Why? Because Lot was listen. Matter of fact, we're gonna let the scriptures get it. See, it's going to be the same way as the Son of Man. All right? The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 24. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. So where did this fire and brimstone come from? It came from the Lord. And I'm trying to think. Golly. The book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. All right, so there's no way to escape the fire that's about to come down on Babylon the Great. There's no way to escape it. So the temptation that we're about to go through before this World War III, before the fire and brimstone rains down, is we're going to deal with the one in need of all things. Now, when I first started learning these scriptures and gave up fast dollars for slow coins, I kept losing job after job compared to how I started. I pretty much started out in a good spot. Looked like I was going to be training on the I was training on the forklifts at the port out Baltimore, and it went from that to Popeyes and car washing. Then it went to that to stock at Family Dollar and stock at Aldi. Then it went from this all during the pandemic. The pandemic messed everything up. Then it went to assistant manager at Family Dollar. And then it looked like I was going to get my own store. Then it looked like, damn, I'm back at Amazon, just at the bottom of at the starting Amazon position. Then it looks like I'm gonna get my own deli, and hair salon thing on top of the deli. But now it looks like I'm in the mattress store business, which I'm not even gonna get into that because I don't expect that to go anywhere. But yes, now I'm gonna be ordering stuff to be putting in the mattress store, bed sheetings and stuff. and still working for Amazon. Hopefully all of this will be over in no time. Now, the moral of this timeline is that you have to be patient when changed to a lower state, because it is nothing for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai to lift you up. It's nothing. It's nothing. All right, right after I saw Michael Yell Addison and that the store where we charged his phone up at, in between that store and in between the Royals Farm, was somebody I lost in touch with. It was the district manager of Family Dollar's nephew, the regional district manager for DC and now Baltimore too, who told me call him if I need anything, and he wants to give me a store and he'll recommend me for anything as far as managerial position. I ran into his nephew, and that's where his nephew's store is at. And his nephew's been trying to get me to, I've been putting merchandise in his nephew's store before I transferred to Tampa. The whole point is be patient when changed to a lower state, because we're in a lower state until we get the kingdom. So we have to deal with what we're dealing with, and we have to deal with the seeds that's been planted inside of us and that's been sown throughout the world. And we have to vomit out the things that we've been forced to eat. All right, we have to set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble, which is the hardest thing to do, because we are still in our flesh. That's why we have to try to stay in the spirit. We have to beg for Yahweh Shem Yahushua to keep us in the spirit. Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. All right, when it said at thy last end, it made me think of the reincarnation. All right, verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. And when it said cleave unto him, what do we read in the book of Deuteronomy? Cleave unto the Lord, for he is thy life and thy length of days. Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Not if, when. So if you really trying to get to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, if you really trying to be an Israelite, you have to be changed to a lower estate. That don't mean you're going to be sleeping in a tent under the bridge, but you have to get humbled. Your pride has to get checked. That's how you get changed to a lower estate. And will you still focus on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai? Will you still hope? Will you cleave to him more? Or will you make haste and cleave to the quickest way out, which in today's time is going to be the Fed Now system, and what that's going to lead into. Verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. I can't keep not getting precepts. Zechariah 13:9. Now I started 9. Zechariah 13:9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. Right? Those that come to serve the Lord. This is for those that come to serve the Lord. This is the 1/3 that have come back to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I will bring the third part through the fire. It means adversity. Matter of fact, let's get it. Where you at, Zach? Make sure nobody think this talking about hell.
Strong's H784. Aish.
Aish. Now, wasn't the 3 holy children brought through the fire? figuratively and literally. Their spirit was burnt, was in the furnace of affliction, and so is their flesh. All right, literally or figuratively, burning, fiery, flaming, hot. And they say if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Well, God is forcing you through the kitchen. All right. Altar, fire. Is not this the altar? America, Babylon the Great is the altar. Isn't this Edom's Basra, modern day Basra? God's anger, figuratively. So we will go through the anger of the Lord. That's why we must bear the indignation. Zechariah 13 verse 9, and I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, which is Yahweh, and I will hear them. He's not hearing anybody calling on anything else. I will say it is my people, and they shall say the Lord is my God. And what was that scripture that made me think of? Silver is gold, gold is tried. Nah, it has something to do with this. Fire, God, anger. Oh, bear the indignation. Micah. Micah 7 and 9. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. All right. So when you bear the indignation of the Lord, you get brought into the light. John chapter 14 verse 6. Yahweh Shai saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. All right. John chapter 18 verse 9. That the saying might be fulfilled which he spake of them which gavest me, have I lost not one. All right, verse 18 and 9, John 18 and 9, that the saying might be fulfilled which he spake of them which thou gavest me, I have lost none. Micah 7 and 9, I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. I execute judgments against the heathen. I know I'm all over the place. Salakia. I don't have much time. Psalms 149, verse 7. Psalms 149, verse 6. Let the high praises of Yahweh be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. All right, two-edged sword is the scriptures. The high praises is the understanding of these scriptures and bearing the indignation and saying to Wadi Al-Bashim Yahushua. Psalms 149 and 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. Micah 7 and 9, I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. All right, execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. Psalms 149 and 7. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. John chapter 14 verse 16. Yahweh Shai saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. So Yahweh brings us to the light so we can behold Yahweh's righteousness. As Yahweh Shai said, you have seen me, you've seen the Father. John chapter 18 verse 9. That the saying might be fulfilled which he spake of them which thou gavest me, I lost none. So Yahweh brings the 1/3 to the light, which is Yahweh Shai. And then, not one is lost. Not one is lost. Gotta cut it short. Shalom.